Jacob Wilder was a simple man. After 10 years of working in space as a mechanic, he chose to live a quiet life on a remote planet called Lioro 7. The planet was green, peaceful, and full of strange animals. Jacob built a small metal house near the forest and lived alone. He liked silence, clean air, and being far away from people. One evening, while cooking his meal outside, he heard a loud noise in the sky. It wasn't thunder, it was something crashing through the clouds. A bright light flashed across the horizon, followed by a boom that shook the ground. "What the hell was that?" Jacob said, grabbing his scanner and tool belt. He followed the smoke trail through the forest. After walking for 10 minutes, he found a large hole in the ground. In the middle was a small alien escape pod, half buried in dirt. Steam hissed from the edges. The door of the pod slowly opened, and Jacob stepped back. From the pod a figure crawled out, weak, slow, and covered in silver dust. It was a girl, not human, but close. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes glowed faint gold, and she had long hair like silver threads. Her clothes were torn and she was shaking. Jacob didn't know what to do. She looked up at him with fear and confusion. Hungry," she whispered in broken English. "Please, ... food." Jacob blinked. "You speak English?" The girl nodded weakly and fell to her knees. He quickly took out a ration bar from his bag and gave it to her. She grabbed it with both hands and ate it like she hadn't eaten in days. Jacob gave her water too, and she drank every drop. After she finished, she looked at him with serious eyes. "You feed me? That means ... you are my mate?" Jacob blinked. "Wait, what? You're kind? You give food? That means bond," she said, placing her hand on her chest. "Will you be my mate?" Jacob stared at her. Was this a joke? Was she confused? Is the translator broken? He laughed nervously. No, I was just helping." "You were hurt." The alien girl tilted her head. "You don't want me?" Jacob scratched the back of his head. "It's not that. I don't even know your name." She looked down. "Karini, from Volari people. My ship was attacked. I escape." "Why?" "Find you." Jacob could see she was tired and scared. "Look, Karini, let's get you inside and patched up first. Then we'll talk about whatever this mate thing is." She nodded slowly. Back at Jacob's shelter, he helped Karini sit on a chair and gave her a clean towel and some more food. He used his medical kit to treat her wounds. Nothing serious. Just bruises and small cuts. Karini watched everything with wide eyes. "You fix machines and bodies. You strong human." Jacob chuckled. "I fix engines, not people. But you're lucky." She smiled for the first time. It was small, but warm. After eating and drinking, she fell asleep on the couch. Jacob sat nearby, looking at her. He had lived alone for so long. Now an alien girl was in his home, calling him her mate just because he gave her food. "She probably doesn't understand the word," he whispered to himself. "Must be a cultural thing." Still, part of him felt something strange. Not fear, not confusion, just a small feeling he couldn't name. The next morning, Karini woke up early and walked around the shelter. She touched things carefully: books, tools, cooking gear. Everything seemed new and strange to her. Jacob made breakfast. He gave her half. "Thank you, Jacob," she said, slowly improving her English. "You're welcome," he replied. And ... "You don't have to call me your mate. I'm just helping." Karini looked at him with calm eyes. "In my culture, giving food and care is first sign of bond. We choose mates with heart, not rule." Jacob sighed. "Maybe humans in Volari do things differently." "Maybe," she said, "but I still choose you." Jacob blinked. "You don't even know me." Karini pointed to his hands. "You build, you fix, you save. That is enough." He didn't know what to say. This girl had come from the stars. She barely knew his name. And yet she looked at him like she saw something he couldn't see himself. Jacob stood up. "I have work to do outside. You can rest or come watch." "Want to learn," Karini said. Jacob handed her a wrench. "All right then." to work. As they walked out into the sunlight, he couldn't stop thinking about her question. Will you be my mate? He had thought it was a joke. But now, he wasn't so sure. The next few days were strange but peaceful. Karini stayed close to Jacob, watching everything he did. She followed him like a quiet shadow, whether he was fixing solar panels or cooking breakfast. She was always nearby learning. At first, Jacob found it awkward. He had lived alone for years. Now someone was always with him, masking questions, copying his actions, and sometimes staring at him like he was a mystery. One morning, while fixing a broken drone, Jacob said, "You don't have to follow me everywhere." You know, Karini tilted her head. "But I want to learn. You do many smart things." Jacob sighed, handing her a screwdriver. "Then hold this. But careful, it's not a toy." Karini smiled. "Yes, mate." Jacob froze. "Stop calling me that. I told you. I'm not your mate." She looked confused, but I chose. "Why you not choose back?" "It doesn't work that way for humans," he said, tightening a bolt. "We spend time with someone, get to know them, build trust, then maybe we choose." Karini nodded slowly. "Then I will wait. I learn. We spend time." Jacob didn't argue. He just shook his head and returned to work. But deep inside, he felt a strange warmth. No one had ever been this interested in his boring, quiet life. Karini was a fast learner. Her English improved each day. She started helping around the shelter, sweeping floors, washing tools, even cooking. Her first try was a disaster. Burned the food and spilled water everywhere. But she laughed, and Jacob couldn't help but laugh too. "You're lucky this place has fire control systems," he said, cleaning the mess. "Next time better," Karini said proudly. Jacob smiled. "I believe you." In the evenings, they sat outside watching the stars. Karini often pointed to the sky. "My people travel through stars. We never stay in one place. Nomads." Jacob asked. "Yes," she said. "Always moving." I fell. My ship broke. Now I stay here." Jacob looked at her. "Do you want to go back?" Karini was quiet for a moment. "I don't know. My people follow stars, but my heart feels still here." Jacob said nothing. He looked at the sky, wondering if someone out there was looking for her. One night, a strange sound came from the edge of the forest. Jacob grabbed his scanner and stepped outside. Karini followed without asking. "What is it?" she whispered. "I don't know. Could be a wild creature or something else." They moved quietly through the trees. The scanner picked up energy. Traces small but not natural. Suddenly they saw a small floating device hovering above the ground. It blinked with blue lights and hummed softly. "A probe," Jacob said. "Military design. Not human. Not yours either." Karini shook her head. "Not Valari. Different signal. Not safe." The probe noticed them and zoomed upward, disappearing into the night sky. Jacob frowned. That thing was scanning this area. It might mean someone else knows you're here. Karini looked nervous. "Bad people, could be," Jacob said. "We need to be ready." The next day, Karini worked with more focus. She helped Jacob check security systems, power grids, and motion sensors. She even showed him how to boost his defense shield using parts from her broken pod. "Where did you learn all this?" Jacob asked, impressed. "Scout training," Karini said. "Every Valari learns to fix, survive, protect." Jacob nodded. "Maybe we're not so different after all." Karini smiled. "You see now? We match." Jacob laughed. "I said maybe, not yes." He wasn't laughing inside. A small part of him was starting to wonder what if she was right. What if they did match? Later, Karini gave Jacob a small glowing stone from her pod. It pulsed with soft light. "What is it?" he asked. "Memory stone," she said. "Valari use it to share feelings. No words, just emotion." Jacob looked at it carefully. "Can I use it?" Karini nodded. "Touch it with calm heart. I'll show you what." "I feel..." Jacob hesitated, then touched the stone. In an instant, warm light filled his mind. He saw images, not clear pictures. but emotions, fear, hunger, cold, then warmth, hope, safety, and in the middle of it all, a picture of him, a strange shape, but clearly meant to be him smiling. Offering food, reaching out a hand. Jacob pulled his hand away, shocked. That's me. Karini looked at him gently. You are light and dark. I feel safe with you. Jacob didn't know what to say. He had never felt anything like that. Before that night, he couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about the memory stone. It's about Karini. About how lonely his life had been before she crashed into it. The next morning, he found her in the garden, touching flowers. You're really not going to leave, are you? He asked. Karini looked at him. Only if you make me. Jacob sighed. No, I'm not making you leave. She stepped closer. Then I stay. I learn more. And maybe one day you choose me too. Jacob looked at her glowing eyes and soft smile. He didn't say yes. But he didn't say no either. He simply nodded and handed her a spanner. Come on, we've got work to do. The sun was bright over Leora 7, and the wind carried the scent of the wild trees. Jacob and Karini were fixing the water pump outside the shelter. It had been 3 weeks since her crash. Life had become a strange but peaceful routine. She worked beside him, learned quickly, and always asked curious questions. Jacob had stopped correcting her when she called him mate. Part of him had grown used to it. Maybe, deep inside, he didn't mind anymore. Suddenly, Karini froze. Her glowing eyes looked up toward the sky. What is it? Jacob asked. She held out her hand, pointing Valari's signal. My people. They found me. Jacob turned on his scanner. A fast-moving object was approaching the planet from orbit. It was smooth, silver, and shaped like a crescent moon. Definitely not human-made. Karini stepped back. Diplomatic pod. That means elders are coming. Jacob looked at her. Is that good? Karini didn't answer. She looked nervous. Within an hour, the pod landed gently in the clearing outside Jacob's shelter. The surface hissed open, and 2 tall alien figures stepped out. Their blue skin shimmered like Karina's, and they wore elegant silver robes. Their eyes glowed bright white. Karina stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Jacob stood awkwardly behind her. Hello? One of the aliens, a male with long crystal-like hair, looked at Jacob. You are the human who helped our scout? Jacob nodded. Yes, she crash-landed. I gave her food and shelter. The second alien, a calm-looking female, stepped forward. And now she has declared you her chosen bond? Jacob coughed. She said something like that, yeah. But I didn't agree. I thought it was just Valari bonds are not jokes, the male said sharply. Karini stepped between them. He did not know. I chose him. He did not trick me. The female elder looked at Karini kindly. Your feelings are clear, child, but your decision affects both our people. Must understand the meaning. Jacob raised a hand. Please. I didn't mean to insult your customs. I just wanted to help. Help has value. But in Valari law, feeding someone in need, offering safety, creates the right of bond. If you accept, you become her life mate. Jacob's mouth opened, then closed, then opened again. Look, I didn't sign up for marriage. I was just being decent. Karini's eyes dropped. I understand, she whispered. There was silence. Then Jacob took a deep breath. I'm not saying no. I just need time to understand what this bond means. In my culture, we don't rush things. The female elder nodded. That is fair. Valari bonding is deep. It must be chosen by both. The male elder did not look happy, but he said nothing more. Later that day, Karini sat alone near the edge of the forest. Jacob joined her, carrying 2 mugs of warm tea. Here, he said, handing her one. She took it slowly. I did not want to cause trouble. Didn't? Jacob said. I just didn't realize how serious it was. Karini looked at the trees. I should have told you. But when I saw you, I felt peace. I never felt that before. Jacob sipped his tea. I've been alone for a long time. He brought it. Change at first, I didn't want it. I'm not sure I want to go back. She looked at him. Then you don't hate me? He smiled. No, I don't hate you. She smiled back softly. That night, the elders met with Jacob inside his shelter. They brought a small glowing device and placed it on the table. This is the Valari bonding mirror, the female elder said. It reads truth. If you truly care for her, it will glow bright. Jacob hesitated, then touched the mirror. It glowed, not very bright, but steady. Karini touched it too. The glow increased, pulsing gently. The elders exchanged looks. He is not ready, the male elder said, but his heart is open. The female elder nodded. Then we leave the choice to you, Karini. Stay with him or return home. Karini turned to Jacob. Do you want me to stay? Jacob looked at her. Glowing eyes, her hands, her gentle strength. I want you to stay, he said finally. But I can't promise anything yet. Just want to know you better. Karini smiled. Then I stay. The female elder placed a hand on Karini's shoulder. Be well, child. Learn together. The male elder looked at Jacob. Protect her. She is one of our brightest. Karini and Jacob stood together, watching it rise into the sky. Jacob asked, You're sure about this? Karini nodded. Yes, I want to learn your world and learn you. Jacob smiled. And let's take it one step at a time. Return to the shelter, walking side by side. As they entered, Karini asked, You still think my question was a joke? Not anymore? She grinned. Good, because I'll ask again soon. Jacob rolled his eyes playfully. Yeah, I figured, but deep down, he didn't mind waiting for the next time. The days after the Valari ship left were quiet, but the silence felt different now. Jacob and Karini returned to their normal routine fixing machines, checking the garden, and watching the stars, but something had changed. They no longer felt like strangers each morning. Karini greeted Jacob with a soft smile and helped make breakfast. She learned how to use basic human tools, and in return, she taught him a few words in her language. He often found her singing quietly in Valari, her voice soft like the wind through the trees. Jacob started to enjoy her company more than he expected. One afternoon, while they worked on the solar panels, Karini suddenly asked, Do humans believe in fate? Jacob wiped sweat from his brow. Some do. Why? She looked at the sky. Because I wonder if falling here was meant to happen? Maybe I wasn't lost. Maybe I was supposed to meet you. Jacob didn't answer right away. Her words touched something inside him. He remembered his lonely days before her crash. The silence that used to comfort him now felt empty. I don't know about fate, he said finally, but I'm glad you did crash here. Karini smiled. Me too. Later that evening, Jacob stood outside alone, staring at the stars. His thoughts were a mix of questions. Was he really ready to bond with someone? Not just someone, but an alien girl from a starfaring race? He heard soft footsteps behind him. You think too much, Karini said. Jacob chuckled. Yeah, that's one of my many bad habits. Karini stepped beside him. You are unsure? Jacob paused. I've never been in something like this. You're from another world. I'm just a mechanic who gave you food. Karini looked at him. You did more than feed me. You saw me. You helped me without expecting anything. That is rare. Jacob turned to her. But are we really that compatible? I don't even understand your customs fully. Karini placed a hand on his arm. That's why we learn together, slowly, no rush. Bonding is not only promise, it's journey. Jacob nodded. Her words felt honest, calming, like he wasn't being pushed, just invited. I think I want to keep walking that journey, he said softly. Karini's eyes lit up. Then I stay. I walk with you. The next day, they worked together in the garden. Karini planted seeds from her homeworld, tiny glowing pods that pulsed with soft blue light. She called them Laren flowers, said they bloomed only when they felt peace nearby. Jacob watched her carefully dig the soil and place the pods. They'll like this place, said Karini, smiled, because I do. Suddenly, a small beep came from Jacob's portable scanner. He picked it up, checking the alert. Strange, he muttered. Signal weak, but repeating. Karini looked up. From orbit. No, Jacob said. From the edge of the valley. They packed quickly and went out on the rover. As they reached the signal location, they found something unexpected. A damaged communication tower. It wasn't his, and it wasn't Valari. The tower had black plating and sharp angles. At its base, they saw a burnt logo Cravians. Kareen S. Face changed instantly. They're close. Who are the Cravians? Jacob asked. Raiders, she replied. Steal tech, energy, anything. No mercy. They followed the Valari signal. Jacob's heart pounded, and then they know where. Here. That night, Jacob and Karini activated the defense systems. They checked the shield grid, the perimeter sensors, and even the old drones. Jacob had never expected to use them, but now they were their only hope. Karini showed him how to connect. Valari energy cells to the human power lines. It boosted the shields and activated hidden systems she had carried in her pod. You came with weapons? Jacob asked. Scouts carry protection, she said simply. They trained together, practicing. With light stun tools and motion trackers, Karini moved fast like a dancer in battle. Jacob admired her strength, her control. Where'd you learn to fight? Hey, asked Valari Academy, she replied. But now I fight for home. Jacob looked at her. Is this place your home now? She nodded. Yes, because you are here. 2 nights later, first attack came. A small Cravian drone entered the perimeter and was destroyed by the defense field. But it confirmed their fears. The enemy was near. Jacob and Karini worked through the night, placing traps and boosting energy levels. He built small defense bots from spare parts. She programmed them with alien code. When the Cravians came, they weren't ready for what waited. The battle was short but wild. The enemy sent 3 scout units. One was caught in a trap, another was blinded by a flash mine. The last made it to the shelter's edge. But Karini and Jacob stood together and stopped at Jacob, using a high-frequency blaster, Karini hitting it with a Valari shockwave. After it was over, they stood in the smoke, breathing hard. Are you hurt? Jacob asked, rushing to her. Karini shook her head. No. You. I'm fine, he said. Thanks to you. She placed a hand on his chest. We protect each other now. Jacob looked into her eyes. I guess that means we're a team, Karini smiled, and maybe more. Jacob didn't pull away. He placed his hand over hers. Yeah, maybe more. The morning after the Cravian attack was calm, but the air felt heavy. Jacob walked around the shelter, checking damage. Some walls were scratched, a few power lines had burned, but the defense systems still worked. Karini was inside, resting after the long night. She had fought with all her strength. Jacob couldn't stop thinking about her bravery. He walked in and saw her sitting quietly, eyes closed, holding her glowing memory stone. Are you okay? He asked gently. Karini opened her eyes. Was thinking of home. My real home. Not the ship. Not the stars. This place. Jacob sat beside her. Leora 7. No, she said, turning to look at him. You. Jacob smiled, touched but unsure how to answer. You always know what to say. Karini leaned her head on his shoulder, because I speak with feeling, not always with perfect words. He didn't move. He let her stay like that. And for the first time in years, Jacob felt safe. Not just from enemies, but from loneliness. Later that day, the scanner beeped again. A larger Cravian ship had entered orbit. This time it wasn't a small scout. It was a warcraft. They're planning something big, Jacob said, tightening his tool belt. We need a plan, Karini nodded. Can't fight them directly. Too strong. Jacob looked at the old Cums tower. If we don't have to fight them head-on, maybe we can outsmart them. Listened carefully as Jacob explained. He wanted to set a trap of fake energy signal using the broken tower. It would lead the Cravians away from their shelter. If they go after the signal, he said, we use that time to strike at their ship. Karini thought for a moment. Dangerous, but possible. We don't have many options, Jacob said, and I'd rather take the risk than wait for them to surround us. She placed her hand on his. Then I trust you. The next morning they started preparing. Jacob built a signal booster from spare parts, using a small reactor to send out false Volari energy pulses. Kyrene added alien tech to make the signal look real. When it was done, they placed it in the valley and activated it. Soon, the Cravion ship responded. For scout drones flew toward the signal location. The larger ship moved slowly, scanning the area. They took the bait, Jacob said. Now we hit them. They returned to the shelter where Karini had opened her escape pod's hidden chamber. Inside was a small silver Discan energy disruptor. This can blind their systems for 5 minutes, she said. Enough time for damage or escape. Jacob loaded it into a drone. Let's hope it's enough. He piloted the drone carefully, flying it close to the Cravian ship. When it got near, Karini activated the disruptor. A flash of blue light hit the Cravion vessel, shook, then floated, still disabled but not destroyed. Now, Jacob shouted. They sent in another drone. This one carrying a high-pressure energy bomb made from Volari crystals and Jacob's old mining tools. It hit the lower hull of the Cravian ship. A small explosion burst through the underside, sending sparks and smoke across the sky. The Cravion ship backed off. Systems failing. They're retreating, Karini said with relief. They won't risk more attacks. Jacob sat back, heart pounding. We actually did it. Kadrine looked at him with pride. Together that night, the stars looked brighter. The planet was quiet again. Jacob and Karini sat near the garden, where the Laren flowers had begun to glow softly. Their light pulsed with calm blue energy. They bloomed, Karini whispered. It means this place is safe now. Jacob looked at her. Thanks to you. Karini shook her head. Thanks to us. There was a silence, soft and full of meaning. Jacob turned to her. You first asked me that question. I thought it was a translator mistake. Karini smiled. I know, but now, he continued, I think I finally understand it. She looked at him, hopeful. Do you? He nodded. You weren't just asking with words. You were asking with trust, with your heart. Karini placed her hand on his. And now, what is your answer? Jacob took a deep breath. Still learning, still growing, but yes, want to walk this path with you. Her eyes glowed with joy. Then we are one step closer. In the days that followed, they repaired the shelter, expanded the garden, and built a stronger shield system around their land. Karini taught Jacob more about the Volari way of life. In return, Jacob showed her old Earth traditions: cooking, storytelling, music. Together, they created something new. A bond not born from rules or promises, but from actions, trust, and quiet care. Sometimes, they still faced small danger storms, wild animals, strange signals. But they faced everything together. And each night, Karini would look at Jacob with a smile and ask, just once, will you be my mate? And every time, Jacob would smile back and answer, I'm getting there. Weeks passed, and Lior 7 slowly returned to its peaceful rhythm. The trees swayed gently, the sky remained clear, and the air smelled fresh after the rain. But life at Jacob's shelter was no longer quiet in the same old way. Now it was full of light, laughter, and shared work. Jacob and Karini had turned the small shelter into a real home. They added a second room, solar heating, and even built a small water system using parts from her escape pod. The Laren flowers had started to grow tall, glowing softly at night like a living lamp. Jacob no longer saw Karini as just a guest or an alien. She had become a part of his world, his routine, his thoughts, his future, and every evening. After dinner, Karini would ask, will you be my mate? At first, Jacob smiled and gave playful answers like maybe soon or still thinking. But inside, he knew his answer was changing. He just needed the right moment. One sunny morning, Karini surprised Jacob with something special. She had carved 2 small pendants from crystal, one shaped like a star. the other like a gear. This is a Volari bonding symbol, she said, giving him the gear-shaped one. We exchange these when we fully choose each other. Jacob held the smooth pendant in his hand. It shimmered in the sunlight. He looked at her. You already made one for me? Karini nodded. I made it the first week here. I just waited. Jacob's chest felt warm. Then maybe it's my turn to surprise you. That afternoon, Jacob disappeared into the forest for a few hours. Karini didn't follow him. She trusted him completely now. When he returned, he had something in his hand, something wrapped in soft cloth. Karini tilted her head. What is that? Jacob sat beside her on the grass. I've been working on this for a while. He unwrapped the cloth. Inside was a small music player, an old Earth model he had kept hidden. But now it was repaired, polished, and playing soft, calm music. Karini listened, her eyes wide. It's beautiful, Jacob smiled. It's an earth-bonding gift. Something from my world. For you. She touched the device gently. You made it for me? Yes, he said, because I wanted to show how much you mean to me. Not with words, with action. Karini looked at him, eyes shining.
Does
this mean? Jacob reached into his pocket and took out the pendant she gave him earlier. Then he handed her something new, his own handmade pendant, carved from metal and shaped like the moon. This is my answer, he said. Yes, Karini, I will be your mate. Tears filled Karini's eyes clear, glowing tears like liquid light. You mean it? She whispered. Jacob nodded. You changed my life. You brought me out of silence. You gave me something real. Yes. I choose you. Karini leaned forward and hugged him tightly. Then, I choose you again and again. They exchanged their pendants, holding them close to their hearts. A soft blue light surrounded them, Karini's energy reacting. To their bond, it wasn't just a symbol now. It was a promise. A quiet one. A strong one. Days turned into weeks. Their bond only grew deeper. Jacob and Kyrene built more together. A watchtower, small storage shed, and even a space to train and relax. They named their home Solari Havana, a mix of Soul Sun and Volari. Sometimes they spoke of traveling, visiting Volari space, seeing other human colonies, but never in a hurry. For now, Leora 7 was enough. The Volari elders contacted them once by signal. They sent blessings and approved the bond officially. Karini's people were proud of her choice, and Jacob was invited to visit whenever he wished. He wasn't ready for space travel again. Not yet. His heart had finally found peace here on the ground beside her. One evening, under a sky full of stars, they sat by the Laren flowers, watching their slow blue glow. Karini rested her head on Jacob's shoulder. I used to be afraid of crashing, she said softly. I thought it meant failure. Jacob looked at her, and now I think, maybe I crashed into the right person, smiled. Maybe I caught the right falling star. They sat in silence, feeling the world around them. Karini whispered, will you be my mate? Jacob didn't laugh this time, didn't wait or give a half answer. He turned, held her hand, and said, I already am. No. From that day on, they know. Longer asked the question, because they both knew the answer. It was more than words. It was trust. It was choice. It was home.